It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Could I have your attention, please? I could have your attention, please, in the media center. Got Jimmie Johnson in here. He's our points leader, two-time defending NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion. He's won 3 times here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's got a driver rating of 113.4, which is very, very stout. He drives the number 48 Lowe's Cobalt Tool Chevrolet. Jimmie, talk about this weekend, your outlook, and racing here at Atlanta, a track that has been
back to how we ran here in the spring and how difficult it was for us at that point of the year just to have our cars right, and we still managed to get a decent finish, but you know, it was a struggle for us here. We had a car that was really tough to drive, so I still have those thoughts in my mind, but so much has gone on from that part of the season until now that I'm very optimistic about our chances this weekend. We're excited to get qualifying in or whatever may come from that. I feel like we're going to be up towards the front regardless of the conditions and how qualifying set. And you know, I'm feeling really, really good about the race. We won last year here, and it's, you know, got a cool streak going. And in the past, we've been able to win here in the fall, and I'd really like to keep that alive and stay aggressive and try to win again. You know, in the chase with everything that's on the line. So we're focused, we're committed, and we're excited about the weekend.
I will take questions now for Jimmie. We'll start with Rick. We'll go to Doug, Jenna, gentleman behind Jenna. Go.
Jimmie, given how good you've run here in the past, would you give us, from your personal standpoint, the benefits of running here in the chase versus like next year when you're running Labor Day weekend at night?
You know, the track, there's so much that can happen here. It is a very aggressive mile-and-a-half track. Eats tires. It's challenging mentally, physically. You know, it is a tough track. It is much more difficult to drive than a Charlotte, a Texas. Some of those tracks, you're not in your comfort zone ever here. Maybe for the first lap or two before the tires fall off, and at that point you're hanging on. So depending on what people like to see in the chase, you know, that might disappoint some fans that this great track isn't in the chase. You know, Fontana's been good to me as well, so from my own selfish perspective, both tracks are good, and I don't see any big issues for the 48 team. But this is a great race track and a very challenging track, and people show up here and have to respect it regardless when it falls in the schedule.
I will go with Doug, Jenna, the gentleman behind Jenna. Go. Can you speak up, please? You need the microphone. Where's the microphone? Thank you.
I don't know if there's a second one or not. Sorry. Jimmie, won't say my name again, but your brother is supposed to make his Nationwide Series debut this weekend in Memphis. Obviously not here at the track with you this week. Just your thoughts on that. What do you think his chances are? That was a team that's run decently this year. Do you think he has a bigger future in the sport? Is there any more on the horizon? What?
I hope he does have a future in the sport. First of all, I have to say I'm very proud of my brother and how hard he's worked to get this opportunity. There's no telling where it's going to lead, and it's his first time ever in a Nationwide car. He didn't have a chance to test, and he's going to a technical, small, short track with some great teams and drivers. So I'm trying to keep my expectations realistic for him, but at the same time, I know how hard he's worked to put himself in this position. He's a father of 2, started a new business. Really, since we were kids, I mean, Christmas would start, open toys, I'd start playing with mine, usually break mine. Before he ever started playing with his, he was disassembling it and then putting it back together, and then I'd hand him mine that was broken and let him fix it. He's been a guy that's been really good with his hands, but has had a passion for the sport, and certainly has his own style and his own identity, and he's getting his chance. So I'm just very proud as his brother to know that all that work has gone into this and that Armando Fitz has given him a shot this weekend. And I certainly hope things work out for him and he runs well and has a future in the sport. But It's just no telling how that's all going to shake out, and I wish I could be there to watch them.
Go Jenna, gentleman behind Jenna, and then Martin and Marty, and over here to Bunkowski. Go ahead.
Jenna. Jimmy, Brian Vickers' team was caught this week or fined for, I guess, cheating or manipulating the car. Your team has been in a similar situation many times. How difficult is it to overcome the perception that, oh, we're just cheaters and all of our success is just based on us manipulating the rules, or anything that Brian may be hearing that maybe their improvement this year wasn't legitimate?
Well, it's challenging. I mean, you have teams that go through it each year, and there are certain situations where responsibility lies on the team and their efforts to get around the rules. And then there are other situations where might be a manufacturer's fault. It might. You look at Robbie Gordon's situation at the start of the year. I mean, there's a variety of ways that this can happen. And the old saying that any press is good press is wrong in this respect. I mean, when you have that negative press on your team, it does put a question mark in people's minds, and that is something that takes a long time to overcome. And I've lived it firsthand. Chad has been aggressive and has been a rule maker, and has had his fair share of issues with that. And then he's been a rule breaker, and he's been slammed on that too. So, I've lived it, but I can tell you that those crew chiefs and team owners are on eggshells every day, because the rules are so tight and there is no margin for error. And as you dive into who's responsible for what issues, it helps soften the blow, but still at the end of the day, it's a tough thing to overcome. And the best medicine for that is just to go out on track and keep doing what you've been doing. And hopefully those guys can do that.
Yes, sir. We'll take you. We're going Bruce, Marty. Go.
Steve Eubank, Sports Unlimited. Jimmy, earlier in the week, Cale Yarborough said that he felt like he would be in good company if you were to win this thing, but he wasn't pulling for you. So if
I don't blame him.
if you do pull this off, what do you hope to say to Cale, and can you talk a little bit about what you think of him?
I can tell you what I think of him, but I have no clue what I would say or have opened my mind up for that yet. It'd be foolish for me to start thinking that I had this thing covered, and I'm here to win the pole, win the race. I mean, that's what our team's focused on. But Cale has been a hero of mine since I was a kid, and to be mentioned in his presence and to do something that had only been done once in the sport, and to hear my name mentioned with other greats. Cale's done a lot for our sport. It's been around for a lot of years, and I'm just looking forward to the future and what can happen in the next 4 weeks.
Go Bruce, Marty, Jerry, David Poole. Go.
Bruce Martin with SI.com. Jimmy, I mean this all with the utmost respect, but if you
This can't be a good question.
If you keep this up, you could be known as the man who ruined the chase. And, your dominance the last 3 years is pretty much, every year it kind of gets more and more. What would you think, though, if that tag got put on you?
Fantastic. I'll take it. The thing, when you look at what's been done in other sports, you watch Lance Armstrong go for his seventh. I mean, the world, and especially North America, watched with excitement to see if he could do it. I would hope that through all of this, that people would watch and say, if it does fall into that category, they'd at least watch and say, this is pretty cool. I mean, a guy has a chance to do something that's been done once before, and then re-rack next year and chasing history. That perspective, instead of affecting or hurting, because if it does happen, if it does or doesn't, we have to talk about in our sport and what went on this year. If it does happen, there's a whole story that spins off of it, and then if it doesn't, it's who came back and was able to win the points. So I think we have to look at this either way for the better of our sport and say, there is a story either way, and from my perspective, I hope it's 3 in a row and then trying to do 4 in a row.
Let's go Marty, Jerry, David Newton, David Poole.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Hello, is this on? Hello, Bueller.